Good afternoon, good evening, whichever it is. I'm never really sure. It's that sort of grey area time in the moment. How is everybody doing? Welcome. This is the Perchy here from the Perchy TV. We're going to talk about HeungMin Son. There's a lot of talk now. Is he going to be the next captain? Comments on what Postecoglou said. Comments on what he's been making in press conferences. So it'll be interesting. We're going to delve straight into that and have a little chinwag about that. Before that, though, guys, please make sure you like, subscribe, share out the content. Try and push it out. The more likes, obviously, does great business and it helps me push out. And we're trying to on the road to 2,000 subscribers. And guys, yeah, please do that. Get that done. And on that note, guys, I will see you in just one moment, in about 15 seconds, and then we'll talk all about HeungMin Son. See you in a minute.
What a fantastic run! He scored! Amazing goal by Ricky Villa. The big man from Argentina went round 1, 2, 3.
Okay, welcome back, guys. How are we doing? Okay, let's delve straight into it, shall we? HeungMin Son. Now, I'm hearing from loads and loads of people that the next captain for Tottenham Hotspur, if Harry Kane leaves, will be HeungMin Son. For me personally, I wouldn't, but I loved it. Loads and loads of people are talking about it. So let's talk about it. Why not? Let's discuss it because HeungMin Son's been out talking with Postecoglou about a lot of stuff. So I'm just going to pull up some comments what HeungMin Son has been saying. First of all, so the first one here is at the moment, guys, that HeungMin Son on why he chose to play through his injury last season. Obviously, there was a lot of talk at the moment last season that HeungMin Son was playing with an injury last season, which, if that was the case, was massively detrimental to not just him, but the club. As I was saying here, guys, I didn't want to let people down. I didn't want to let the players and the staff down because that meant a lot to me. And then the fans supporting me. I take the responsibility whether I played good or bad with the pain or not. So from that is HeungMin Son taking responsibility, saying it was his decision to play through the injury. Now, I would argue and fathom to guess that someone need to stop him. If it was the manager, the physios, someone had to say, no, Sonny, you can't play with this injury. But do you know what? The one thing I do respect about HeungMin Son, the one thing I massively respect him, he takes accountability. Something that a lot of people at the club didn't do last season. Fair play to Son. He's taken accountability. It was my decision. I may have got it wrong. I wasn't good enough. He also has come out and said some other bits. He's come out and said HeungMin Son on saying why he chose to. Sorry, that's one. Apologies. It's this one. Sorry, wrong one. HeungMin Son on Postecoglou and his style. You could possibly see against West Ham. West Ham. It's still a lot to improve, and yet to change in the way we play. But we want to have the ball. We want to be attacking more, play in their half, which I think is really important for us as a team and the club. The club has a style of playing of football you could see against West Ham is changed from last season. It's a good thing, obviously. You want to play in their half of the pitch. It's always good to score goals. It's a shorter distance than you have 60 metres in front of you. 60, 70 meters in front. Exactly. So what I love about that, what Son has come out and said there, I love what he's come out and said. He's basically said, I love playing attacking football. And who doesn't? Everyone that was telling me and other YouTubers that the players don't care playing it. Of course they care. The system last season was atrocious. Dinosaur football from Conte. It was boring. We were basically camped in our own half and then went to guys go and counter-attack. And bear in mind, Son had an injury. Kulusevski had an injury. Well, that's not excuses, but that was just fact, isn't it? We were playing so bad, weren't we, under Conte? We were playing bad and terrible football. There's also some other comments that have been brought up by about Conte by some, which is great. HeungMin Son, done again. It's this one. HeungMin Son on Conte and his infamous press conference rant. It's a bit painful. Conte's comments on the group, but I think people see it in a different way. I don't think he meant it. He was just in an aggressive way, an emotional way after that game. I'm grateful for him. I can't say anything bad about him because I take the blame. I should have done much better. 2 years ago, I won the Golden Boot, and the expectation was high. The team needed me in a different way in the different moments, and for that reason, the pain and whatever, I couldn't perform, and I still feel sorry for him. Again, do you know what? A lot of respect for HeungMin Son. One thing that I had a big gripe about Conte, massive gripe about Conte, never took any accountability. It was everyone else's fault. It was never his fault. And even to this day, people will still defend him. I rate Son's comments there. He took accountability. I wasn't good enough. I should have been better. I let the team down in patches. I rate that. I rate that a lot. That is a man that shows accountability. I love it a lot. Now, the questions are, should HeungMin Son be captain? That's the question for you guys in the chat. Let me know in the comments below. Should HeungMin Son be our captain if Harry Kane leaves? And if Harry Kane leaves, he might leave this summer. He might leave next summer. Should Son be captain, whether or not, one, should Son be captain regardless of Harry Kane's situation? Two, should Son be captain if Kane goes? And three, should Son be captain once Kane goes? So if Kane goes in the summer, next summer, sorry, then he is the next captain. Or should he be vice captain to be promoted to it? I'd like to get people's thoughts on it because whereas I don't necessarily think he should be, because I don't know if he's the character, but I like a lot of what he's saying. And maybe I'm starting to sway into the camp that Son should be captain. I don't know. Maybe I'm a bit of a flip-flop. I'm not sure. I'm still unsure if he is captain material. Yes, he's captain for South Korea, but that's captain by default. He's the best player in that team. He's the best player in that team. That's the reason why he's captain. He's not captain. Is he? I don't think if there was someone that was a better leader and a better player, they'd be captain. I think he's captain by default there. So for me, I think that's a red herring in my personal opinion. Let me know in the comments if you don't agree with me on that. Let me know. But will he be captain? I think he will be. Doesn't mean I want him to be. I'm still undecided who should be captain. I'm still trying to find out who the captain is. I don't actually know who the leader is. It might have to be him by default because there's no leaders. There's no leaders at this football club. So I think by default he gets it. He gets the armband if Kane goes. I think, do you know what? One of the key critical problems we've got at this football club, we're losing Lloris and Kane in one summer. If we lose Kane, that is obviously if we lose Kane. It's a bit concerning. A massive concern for me is that we're losing two in the space of one. Who would be a vice captain? That'd be the question as well for your comments. If Son is captain next season because Kane and Lloris have gone, who's your vice captain? Who's your number two? I'm intrigued who people would put in there. Do you give it to agree with me and say